Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. So, in this video, we are going to see how we can accelerate our deployment. And when we want to move our processes from development to test and test to production between the tenants. So, it is a bit tedious task for anyone, like in terms of creating your resources of your process and deploying the package to the other tenants. So, let us do it the traditional way, how we generally do now. Let us assume that like you doesn't have any CI/CD implemented. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to go to the tenant and we need to go to packages, and from here we need to manually download the package. So if I go here, view versions, from here I need to download the package, and I'll keep it under the downloads. Save, close. My package is got downloaded. So now it is ready for me to move it to the testing environment. So let us do the go to the testing environment, and I'll go to the tenants, and I'll go to the packages, and from here we can select and upload the package. Upload, and now my package is got deployed, and I need to go to the procurement folder, and I'll go to the automations, and I'll create a process. And here I'll be selecting this and click on next. So whatever is there, like we need to take see the queues and all, we are seeing it, and click on next because it's missing, and we will create all this manually. Click on create, close. Now we got the process created, and now we need to create the queues and assets. So for queues, we'll come here, and the name we will select, and we'll keep the same name again. Create new queue, save, click on add, and here we have a trigger. We want to keep a trigger, so we'll go to the automations and triggers. There is a time trigger which is there at 9 o'clock. So I'll go to this automations and triggers, and I'll create a trigger, test trigger. I'll just put it as a test trigger and click on. We'll select the process, and we'll be keeping it as daily, and I'll just keep it as 9 o'clock or something. Click on add, create. So we are not giving any allocation of the machine. So for that we are getting that error. And now we have the time trigger as well. So till this place, everything is cool. Like whatever we have. Even I have a storage bucket. So I can come here. So I'll just create this storage bucket under the test tenant as well. Click on. So till this place, like it is one or two resources we need to create, and it is much more easier in terms of doing it. But let us come to the assets. I want to create assets here. And in this assets, for now, I have only two. So I can easily create these two. But in case, let us suppose if you have a process where like 20 or 30 assets are there, right? Like we need to do it manually, everything. Like I'll need to create an asset, credential, I need to select the type, and I need to give name, username and password. Create. And now I need to come back here and copy this, and I'll create one more asset, and I'll just simply say www.erp.com, create. So for two or three assets we can easily create, but let us assume that like you have a process where you are having around 15 or 20 assets or even more than that, right? So it is going to be a tedious task for us. So now we will see explore the UiPath Solutions Management Manager, like where we can easily move our process from one tenant to the other tenant along with its resources. Okay. And now whatever we have done is like how we generally do it manually. And now I want to create into the production. I want to deploy this into the production. So what I will do is we will go to the automation ops, and in the automation ops, we have solutions management. So we will navigate to the solutions management, and we will create a project. So from the dev tenant, I'm creating a project here, vendor onboarding, continue. And we need to, it will pop up with our solutions builder, And now here we need to create. We need to select the folder, and here you can select which assets you want to have as part of this process. Okay, and also process also. So I need this process, and I need asset, I need this asset, and I need the queue, and I want to have trigger as well, and storage bucket also. So these are the supported migrations which will be having under the solutions builder. In case if you are using any other resources like integration services or connectors, so that cannot be deployed using this. That needs to be configured manually, but it will not take much time. Like major concern what we will have is like when you are dealing with assets, that is going to create a problem for us, right? So I'll select the storage bucket also, and I'll click on add. Let us suppose if some of these assets are not part of this process, I can ignore it. Okay, for now, I'm just selecting it, and I'll click on add. Now, my package is, my project is got created, and I can see what I have as part of this. Like I have a process, I have a trigger, I have an assets, and I have a queue, and I have a storage bucket. So individually also we can see, and we can come to assets, and we can see whether I can change some value here or not. So we can even change our values, but we cannot change the type and all. So how we work in the orchestrator, in the similar way in the solution manager also, we can edit and we can configure. But if you see here, password cannot be set now. When we are deploying, we can keep it. And let us assume that I built something else and I want to sync the product side. Like I made some configurations. So again, we can just go here and click on sync, and we can have all properties or existing as well. Sync. So in case if something is modified there, so let us come back to this, and I'll just go to the dev tenant, and I'll modify one of the asset value. Assets, I'll go to the credentials, edit, just remove this, and I'll just put it with some random name. Click on create. So I need to give the password as well. Update. Now it has got created, right? So now I'll come here and I'll just sync all the properties. Sync. See here, it has got reflected. Even if we are making some changes in the orchestrator, it will get reflected here. So now my project is created using the solutions builder. Now I'll click on publish, and we can just change whatever we want to have, and we can click on publish. It, because I already have one version, so I'll just put it as 1.1. Click on publish. So our solution is got published, and we can even continue to edit here, or like we can go to the packages and see. Go to packages. See, here is our project, and this is the package which is got deployed, and the status is ready. Once it is ready, we can even download this or deploy the package. When you click on deploy package, so it will ask all of the details. So for now, I'm just clicking on cancel, and I'll download this. Download the latest one. If you see here, it's a zip folder having all the configurations, right? So I'm just closing it out, and now I'll change it to the production. And if you see, there is no project or no packages here, right? And here, if I come to the production tenant, I have nothing. Under the procurement, zero processes, zero assets, zero triggers, zero queues. And if I go to the storage bucket, there is no storage bucket as well. So we will come to the solutions manager, and now we will create as a new project. Let me go to the package directly, and I can just simply upload the package solutions. Upload the zip file and click on upload. So now once we have this package uploaded vendor onboarding, we will come here and we will click on deploy package. Under the deployment, we will select the folder procurement, and now we will click on continue. So like I already deployed some previously, so it is giving that like all the name exists. Now what we will do is we'll just change the name. So this name will not impact our process name or anything. So it's just name of deployment like which we are trying to do. And now we are navigated to the solutions installer, and now we have all the assets or queues or whatever the resources we have. So those are got reflected back here. And now we can edit all these details if we want to go. And before doing anything, I'll just click on validate. We can validate the process directly from the automation ops solution installed itself before we are publishing it to the production. So it is saying that like there is a configuration error because for assets, every time you are doing the deployment, you need to configure your credentials. Because this actually changes from dev, test, and prod tenants. So we are just updated the password and I'm clicking on validate. Now it is validating and now there is no validation errors. So now we are good to deploy. So once we click on deploy, process is started for installation of vendor onboarding. And I'll go to this process and procurements. There is nothing as of now. So if I refresh this, so there is nothing as of now. There is no process, assets, queues, or something under the production tenant. So we'll come back to this. Once the status is successful, we'll see the magic of deployment. So it is successful now. I can come back to here. You see here, there is a subfolder created. Under that, like there is a procurement folder. And here it is stating that like this folder is created with solutions folder. And here we have the process created. We have the trigger. We just need to enable it, and queues is got created, and asset we got created, and storage bucket. So all the resources from your dev tenant, whatever we have, which we uploaded through solution manager, are getting reflected into the orchestrator. So with this feature, I think we can speeden up our deployment process, and also we can manage the deployment centrally from automation ops itself. Like instead of like going to orchestrator and reading to all these assets, like selecting creating it manually, and instead of that, like just with too few configurations, we can deploy our processes, and we are going to save a lot of human effort in terms of this. Hope you like the video. Please like, share, subscribe to Skill RPA YouTube channel.